that are unwilling to let go of things in their past, of people that have hurt them, that have done wrong and horrible things to them. And they think that by holding on to this hurt is preventing that person from being let off the hook, which they don't understand that it's actually hurting them and is giving that person that did injustice to them power over them. And it will continue to have this power over them until we decide to let it go. And I just wanted to share with you a few things of why it's so important to really harness this power of forgiveness in your life, because, you know, letting someone off the hook by forgiving them is actually an act of self-love. You're not letting them off the hook. You're making a choice within yourself to say, you know what? My peace matters more. My happiness in my life matters more. The love around me that I want to receive and I want to experience matters more to me. And I can't allow that to enter my life if I'm holding on to this hurt and this pain that this person did to me so many years ago, that I had nothing, that I was not responsible for, that I did not deserve, but it still happened to me. And we live in this culture where we applaud victims. We applaud people to stay in this victimization mode. And, you know, staying as a victim only keeps you weak. Staying as a victim and pointing the finger and staying in that excuse circle level, they did this to me, so I deserve to feel this way. Yes, you can decide to stay that way. Yes, you can decide if you want to just stay in that place where you're holding on to that pain. But let me tell you something. You are robbing yourself. You're robbing yourself of the joy, the happiness, the ability to connect with another human on a whole other level, because when you can't forgive, you can't trust. When you can't forgive, you can't allow love in your life. When you can't forgive, you can't accept others, because deep down, you're not accepting yourself, because you're still beating yourself up over something that happened to you where you were a victim in that scenario. But it's your choice to rise up and do the inner work of forgiving and letting that go. You know, it's interesting how losing my precious dog last year, it was such a dark time for me. It was a time in my life when I truly was actually scared about how I was actually going to move forward from it. I didn't know how I was going to get through it, because she was my everything. She was my little Minnie. She went with me everywhere for 7 years. She did not leave my side. I had her registered. She was with me. She can go everywhere with me, and she did. So when she was poisoned by eating this carpet that she got into, and it was slowly killing her inside, and I had no idea, and then her eventually dying in my arms, it was so incredibly traumatic for me. And I didn't know how to deal with it, because the process of even allowing the thought of her dying, I would not let enter my mind. So when it was actually happening in front of me, it was extremely terrifying to process it, because my brain hadn't processed it. And through that pain, that super incredible dark time of my life, I was forced to face things that I had not wanted to face, that I was too afraid to face. And what's so beautiful about her death, that I could actually truly say was such a blessing in a disguise, because if she did not leave me, I would have not have done the inner intense work that I have been doing this whole past year, working with someone to work through it and doing the work on my own every single day, because the amount of suffering I experienced through losing her forced me to have to face certain things, because certain stuff from my past started surfacing in very scary ways, and I could no longer just avoid it or distract myself in doing something. I had to fix it. And through all of this, I have learned the power of forgiveness, the power of self-compassion, and what has driven me and given me this obsessive desire to help people really heal. Everything that I do, and my purpose now, is truly helping people heal and discovering who they truly are and shining in that truth of who they are inside of themselves. Because we live in a world today where everyone is walking around with masks. Everyone is walking around in pain and suffering and inability to forgive, and they don't know how to do it, so they don't do it. Or they don't have the strength to do it. Or they don't even know where to start because they've been stuck for so long. And I just want to encourage you that this time in this new year, it's still the first month of this new year, this first new decade, to give yourself the beautiful gift of deciding to let anything that has not served you in your life go. To choose to forgive that person, those people that did wrong to you in the past. And most importantly, to forgive yourself. Because if we can't forgive ourselves for things that happen to us that we have no control over, we're never going to be able to move forward. We're never going to be able to truly shine in the light that we are supposed to shine and be an inspiration and strength for others to do the same. And choosing to forgive and let go, putting that back down and walking forward, it's not letting them off the hook. It's actually an act of self-love to yourself, where you say, you know what? My peace matters more. You know what? Being happy matters more. You know what? Letting someone love me matters more than holding on to this pain that's harboring this bitterness and resentment and inability to trust someone else, because I'm still living in that pain. And you know, pain will blind us. It will blind us from the truth. It will blind us from and block us from blessings around us that want to come into our life, but because holding that door shut, they can't come through. And so I just want to encourage you to see the beauty and the power of forgiveness, and that it's not letting that person off the hook, but it's actually you showing yourself an act of self-love. And you know, I made a post last night about, you know, not forgiving is almost like drinking poison and not expecting to die. Like, if you're going to drink poison, you're going to die. If you're going to drink this bitterness and this resentment, it's going to slowly kill your soul inside. And your body is going to actually form and create sickness and disease. And you're eventually going to die if you don't choose to forgive. Because resentment is a cancer. Resentment is a toxic poison inside your body that will just completely consume you if you don't cut it off and let it go. And I cannot stress to you the importance of that. Because if you don't choose to forgive, it's gonna this bitterness is gonna hold on inside of you. This bitterness is gonna consume your life, and you're gonna be walking around thinking that everyone's out to get you, and it's not. When you choose to forgive and let it go, you're choosing to love yourself. You're choosing to have that compassion for yourself. And I just want to be that encourager for you, that reminder for you that your life begins to grow and glow when you choose to forgive, starting by forgiving yourself and showing that self-compassion. And so something that I made for you that can actually really help you is if you click in the link above, it's these affirmations that I recorded. And it's the 5-day glam challenge I do for my girls over at Glam Girls Inspire. And there are affirmations that you can listen to that's going to help you with your mind and forgiving. Thanks for watching.